I was having a conversation with my husband about how I used to feel like a black sheep. And at times, I honestly still do, quite honestly. But even more so back in the day, like days before my healing journey, I just felt like a black sheep. Like I was misunderstood. It felt like no matter what I did, like people just could not relate to me and they just did not understand me. At least in my mind, that's how I felt. And these are feelings that I just always felt that way. I always felt left out. I felt like I couldn't relate to people. I felt like people couldn't relate to me, and it was so frustrating because in my mind I was trying my hardest. Okay, like I was trying so hard to be a likable person and to just get people to see me. I just wanted to be seen, and it's like the more that I tried to be seen, the less visible I was in the eyes of others. It's so crazy. And so I felt that way pretty much my entire life. And now that I'm older and, I've been on my healing journey, I've been on my journey for quite some time now, and I've made a lot of progress, like a ton of progress, like tremendous amounts of progress. But, even now, like even with making all these major strides, guess what? I sometimes still feel like a black sheep. And one thing that I've learned is that the difference between back then and now is that I've simply come to accept it. Like, this is who I am. Take me or leave me. Like, I'm no longer forcing myself into places that don't want me. I'm no longer trying to get you to see my value. I'm no longer trying to make you see me. Like, if you don't see me, then you're missing out, because I have come to realize that I am a prize. And when you don't think that you have value, like when you don't think that you have anything to bring to the table, people can actually sense that and they treat you accordingly. And unfortunately in today's world, you don't have some type of like influence. It's like people, majority of the time, they just look over you. And I just really never understood. I never really understood that. And so now, even that's why I personally feel that I am called to people who have been overlooked, the underdogs, people who often feel left out, like the people who are sitting at the tables by themselves. Like, those are the people that I'm called to. Those are my people, because I know what it feels like. And those are the people who I go to the table to sit with, because I don't want anybody to feel alone. I know what it feels like to be alone and to feel like you don't have any value, to feel like you don't have anything to offer, to feel like you're not worthy. And so that's why, I really have a soft spot for those people who experience that. And the crazy thing is, like, even hearing me talk this out loud, like talking this is something that I would have never even vocalized like back in the day. Which goes to show just how much I have grown, because at this point, I don't care. Like, my care limit has gotten so small. Like, people are going to judge you regardless, doing good, doing bad. People are going to judge you. They're going to view you how they are going to view you. Okay. And I find that people tend to look at other people from their own lenses and their own perspectives of the things that they've been through in their own life. And so many times people are actually projecting onto you things that ain't got nothing to do with you. But I would hold other people's thoughts and how they felt at a higher regard than my own. Like, I would hold theirs as the standard. That's so crazy to think about. And, for me, it was like, I'm at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy now that I think about it, because for me, the reason why I had that mindset and the reason why I guess I felt not relatable is because of, all the trauma I've been through, the things I talk about and share with you, my stories of trauma. So, of course, when you go through a lot of trauma, I'm pretty sure it changes your brain chemistry and the way you think. And when I say brain chemistry, I mean just in the way that you process things, the way that you see things, the way that you think about things. And I was always way more sensitive with seeing things, like where I basically had a higher level of discernment. And when you have a high level of discernment, okay, ooh, that's a whole nother topic. When you have a high level of discernment, or when you're blessed with that gift, sometimes that blessing can hands down feel like a curse. More times than not, it feels like a curse, I believe, because you can see things for what they truly are. And then when you see these things for what they are, it's like you try to make them to be something that is not. Like you're trying to, twist it and turn it to be something that's not, when it's clear as day. But it's like in your mind, you're thinking, dang, maybe I can change this. And so that was me the majority part of my life, trying to get people to see me, trying to get people to like me. And it was very, 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 very draining. Like if you've experienced this, I don't even have to tell you, you already know. And it weighed a lot on my mental health. Like it weighed a lot on my mental health. It weighed a lot on how I viewed myself. And so now I've gotten to a place that I love myself more than anything. I love myself with the love of God. And if somebody want to miss out on my presence, if they don't see the value in having me around, then that's a them problem. It's no longer a me problem. And so if you are a black sheep, if you feel like you're a black sheep, if you're somebody who thinks that you feel like you're misunderstood no matter what you do and that people just can't understand you, if you have a hard time making friends, if you have a hard time expressing your thoughts, your perspectives, and you just feel like you're on like this big old island alone by yourself, and you just out there just swinging your arms, hey, but you just out there by yourself, let me tell you, embrace that. Because honestly, I believe that that is the one thing that's making you, you. That's the one thing that's going to make you stand out if you learn how to truly embrace it. Because for me, I now have this relatability to people because of the hurt and the pain and all the different things that I've personally experienced in my life. So much so that I'm not like far removed from knowing and feeling what other people experience, who've experienced the things that I've experienced. And so now I feel like it works in my favor, but it can kind of go both ways. Like it can either take you down, you can kind of like soak in it, or you can just rise up to it and say, okay, this is my reality. I'm the black sheep, or I feel like the black sheep. So what am I going to do about it? And so for me, some of the things that work for me, for instance, is I've been able to create a brand. My brand, we are an inclusive brand. We believe in uplifting your spirit, uplifting your soul, and just a very mission and purpose-driven brand, even though the primary focus is hair care. And so what I've been able to do is take all my hurt, all my experiences, and I've been able to transition and funnel into that, into building a brand that's purpose-driven, and that brought out the creative piece of me. And so that's what gives me great joy, knowing that I'm making an impact in the midst of the pain that I experience. And so what I'm saying to you is that if you feel like a black sheep, you have to figure out a way to use it to your advantage. That is your unfair advantage. What good can you do in the world as a result of the way that you've either been treated or how you've been left out? How can you turn that around and be the solution for somebody else? Like the solution for their problems, that person who may feel like an outcast themselves. I honestly think that that's where purpose comes from. Purpose comes from us figuring out a way how we can impact and help other people. It's somewhere in the midst of that. And when you find it, you're going to be like, aha, like that makes sense. Like I had to go through all of those things, even though they weren't the most ideal situations and experiences. But I think when you start to view it differently and say, okay, I had to go through those things, like I went through those things so that it could have brought me to my destiny and to where I am now, so that I'm able to help others, then you'll start to see it a lot more different. And so I just wanted to share a little bit of my journey with you, because I am just so over people making it seem like we don't go through things, making it seem like life is just perfect. I'm a believer. I love God down, okay? I love him down. Like I have this crazy, deep, thick, unmatched faith. But even in the process, I still struggle from the traumas that I've dealt with, simply being in the flesh and being in a human body. And so I have to call on him and draw my strength from him. And so those experiences, all those things I've experienced, they have helped to reinforce the fact that I need to draw my strength from him constantly. Like I can't go a day without it. And so I wanted to share that with you to let you know that you are not alone. You are right where you need to be always. Dig deep, dig deep, find your value, find your purpose, that purpose that you want to give the world, because you do have something amazing that you're able to give the world that only you can give to the people who come into contact with you and who come into your space. And so your legacy that you're trying to leave behind, can't nobody do that but you. And so if you've been feeling like a black sheep, again, don't look at it like that. Don't allow it to hold you back. Don't be like, woe is me and I can't overcome this, because at the end of the day, guess what? You got the power to change the narrative of something that was meant for evil to turn around for your good. We know what the enemy meant for evil, God will turn around for good. So if God is going to turn it around for you anyway, so all those things that happened to you that led you to feeling like it was outside of your control, what is in your control is the good that you can put forth out moving forward, that you can change the narrative. Like, you don't have control over all the things that happen to you, external things. So don't allow anything back there in your past, to cloud your present judgment and to make you think that you can't create change, because you most definitely can do that. Trust me. You're looking at somebody who was broken to the core. I mean, mentally, physically broken. And I sometimes look back at my own life now and be like, dang, like I haven't arrived completely to where I want to be, and I'm still on my healing journey. But when I look at myself now, I'm like, wow, God, I almost gave up, but I didn't. And look at me now. And, as I continue to just keep pushing 5 years from now, like, I think about the beauty of life and how it could be. And I want the same for you. Like, where you are now may not be your ideal stage in life, but when you have this awareness that this is not how my story ends, this is not how my journey ends, then you're not going to be in this season forever. Like, you have to hope that things are going to get better. And that's why God gives us hope. Hope is such a powerful tool, because when you have hope, you can have vision. And when you start to believe and see things that hasn't come into fruition yet, that's when you know you're on the right track. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, and what? The evidence of things not seen. Okay? So when you're hopeful about the future, it gives you this fire. It gives you this joy, this crazy joy. It gives you this light that you can work right now until the healed version of you come down the line. You're going to meet that person along the way, but you have to start stepping first. You got to have that awareness and say, okay, this is where I am now, and that is where I want to be. So let me do what's in my control and just move my feet. Even though I can't see the next steps along the journey, you just got to do it. Do it for you. Do it for your kids. If you ain't got kids, do it for your future kids. And if you don't desire kids, do it for all the young people who are going to come behind you and who are likely going to face some of the same traumas, challenges, and situations that you personally had to face. If you can overcome and become the blueprint for somebody else, you can't be that. So anyway, don't count yourself out. Life is hard enough with other people doing it, okay? Every single day, somebody is trying to shoot an arrow in your back. So don't do it to yourself. Give it all you got. Take it a day at a time. The healing journey is a journey for a reason. It does not happen overnight. All the hurts, all the aches in your body, it did not happen overnight. So give your body, your mind some time enough to detox and to let all the good things in. Okay? So promise me that you're going to take that step in the right direction and to just move forward, even though you can't see the path, and keep hope in your heart that things are going to get better and things are going to get greater. And even right now, believe, keep the faith.